And the government says it will not release capitation funds to schools during this COVID-19 pandemic, dampening hopes of teachers employed by the Board of Management receiving their pay. Speaking during a fact-finding mission for technical colleges in the North Rift region, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha called on parents mainly with children in private schools to be magnanimous in supporting their teachers, saying the government will not step in.
To teachers employed by Board of Management after the revelation from the Ministry of Education that it will not release capitation funds to schools.
If, because of a calamity that you have just mentioned, the head teacher used the money for something else, he should then engage the PTA and explain to them. So it is a give and take situation, isn't it? So to expect us to give money as capitation when the children are not there is not reasonable. We'll work through this with the PS and the Treasury to find out, because we are going to need a lot of money to prepare the schools for the time that they are going to open.
Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha, in the meantime, called on parents of children in private schools to support their teachers, saying the government has no funds.
For example, it is true that the schools have to be maintained. It is also true that we have some other non-teaching staff that maybe are not on the payroll of government. So you can engage to say, if you are going to release money, it should be released for specific purposes, isn't it? You can't talk about capitation. Just like I said, those who paid school fees in advance for second term, if you are in public schools, the money should be refunded.
On the coronavirus pandemic, Magoha said all tertiary institutions must meet all the stipulated protocols before they are reopened in September to curb the spread of COVID-19.
And our hope is that once this disease has affected so many people, maybe from 60 to 80%, then it will just be like any other disease. Because our bodies would have learned it, we should have built host immunity.
He further instructed the management to mark where students will be seated in class, all halls in accordance to the 1 meter distance rule.
When that stage comes, Ndugu, and we are praying it comes, the issue of social distancing may not be as important as it is now. I think that's our prayer. Now, nobody knows anything about this virus, and we just have to wait and see.
The CS who toured Tambaj Teachers Training College in Elgeyo Marakwet and Mosorio Teachers Training College in Nandi County said that all institutions must have automatic hand sanitizers and water points. The ministry, Magoha said, will inspect all 34 teachers training colleges and other tertiary institutions before the September opening date.